Welcome back everybody, and thank you for tuning into this video. Today we'll be turning this big open area into a piece of farmland. And while I've done some brainstorming behind the scenes, I'm really not sure how this is going to turn out because I've never done anything quite this big for a farm before. But let's just jump right into it and I'll start explaining what I have in mind. So we are going to be putting two different types of crops in here, and that is potatoes and carrots, because I have some villagers out front that trade for these, and I can use the fortune, or not the fortune. Yeah, I think it is fortune. I can use the fortune enchantment to basically multiply those two crops like crazy. So I'll basically have an unlimited amount of emeralds after all of this is said and done. As far as how it's gonna look, I think I'm gonna have multiple levels. Obviously it's gonna be close to ground level in the middle, and then it's gonna go up progressively as you fan out to the sides. Other than that, I know I want an AFK tower and maybe some paths running through here, but how that's gonna look is anyone's guess at this point. Let's just start by removing these. I was using them for some sort of resin farm, and it did alright, although it wasn't too great. I'll have to go back and get some more heart creaking blocks later, but that shouldn't be too hard. And while we're at it, let's just take out some more of these trees. Oh, I forgot about that tree chopping mod. It's so perfect for this. Back when I first started this base, this place was absolutely full of trees. But I initially started taking down a ton of them for building materials before I even knew I was going to start a YouTube channel. So this is what we're left with today. I would argue that this path right here is a good halfway point. We can always change it as things progress, but I want to get a decent marker in here to begin with. Not too bad, not too bad. That's gonna be our path going in between the farm fields. And I might add some paths going around the farm fields, but I'm not sure yet. Let's go ahead and climb up some scaffolding so we can get an idea of what we're dealing with. After visiting my Enderman farm to repair some of my tools, I really started to buckle down to finish some of this terraforming. So next time you guys see me, I'll be installing my AFK tower. So, here's our finished product. I really like the way this turned out. It's not too big, not too small, and it looks pretty cool. The roof is a little odd, although I'll be honest, I was just trying something different, and I think it turned out pretty good, so I can't complain there either. So, a little bit ago, I asked for your guys' help to name a few of my villagers down here, and today we are going to officially bestow their titles upon them. So the first one we have here is Phil E. Cheesesteak, which honestly, that's pretty creative. I mean, who doesn't like cheesesteak? And then the next three are a little bit more normal. Second one being Goku. If anyone's seen that show, let me know down below. The third one is Joe. You know, just normal Joe Schmo. And then our fourth one is good old Gerald. How you doing, Gerald? Without further ado, let's get back to the regular scheduled program. If we're going to be putting in some farmland, the two main things we'll need is a bucket of water and a hoe. So let's grab our giant bucket here. This is actually one of the things we get with our add-on. It is a big bucket of water which holds 5 buckets in one slot, which is pretty cool. Let's get this all filled up. Perfect. And for our hoe, I'm actually going to craft one out of netherite just because I'm curious of how far we can get with it. So let me know down in the comments how far you think we'll get with a netherite hoe. So for our hoe, I actually want to craft one out of netherite just because I'm curious of how far we'll actually get with it. And there we go. We have a ridiculously powered hoe. So lining up our water source blocks isn't going to be an exact science just because we don't have a set border, but I do want to keep them somewhat uniform just because I will be adding lights on top of these later on in the video. Finish the first row of plowing. It is time to install some lights. So my plan here is to actually make some sort of glowstone lamp. Question is do I have any glowstone? I'm not sure. Depends if I can remember where it's at. Here we go. This should be enough. That's actually starting to look really cool. Maybe I put too many lamps down there. It does seem kind of like a lot, but I wanted this to be a mob-free zone because the last thing I want is a creeper to come by and blow up all this hard work. Up next, I'm going to be putting in the farm fields. Well, actually, I think I'm going to design some type of wheelbarrow to put throughout the farm to store seeds and crops in. So let's get to work. I'll tell you what, I definitely underestimated just how many seeds this was going to take. But we're just about there. And with the power of editing magic, we are all done and the crops are all grown in. Might I say, this looks pretty dang cool. It's almost intimidating with all this green around here. I mean, it just keeps going and going. Wonder what this looks like from the top. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that looks a lot cooler than I thought it would. Wonder what this looks like at night. Now we're talking. That worked out perfectly. There's not much dark area down there at all. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool indeed. So, that'll about do it for today's video. I hope you guys had just as much fun watching it as I did making it. Now, I will say this is my first video where it's taken me more than one day to make. I mean, this thing took me at least 5 days to make, but you know what I mean. Hopefully it flowed fairly well. I didn't end up putting a path around my farm field, as you can tell, just because I didn't think we really needed it, given that we had that nice little halfway AFK house sitting right there in the middle. But let me know what you guys think down below. Until then, thanks for watching.